What is going on, members of the J area, members of the Main Event Mafia as well? My name is Jose Ramos Jr., and you saw the title of the video as well as the thumbnail, so you already have an idea of where I'm going with this video. But a lot of times when it comes to these interactive, exclusive videos that we're doing as a part of the memberships, I kind of like to get things off my chest and talk freely. You know, really get to know not only you as the viewer, but have you get to know me and my inner thoughts when it comes to the status of pro wrestling. And for the point being, I recently just finished listening to the Chris Van Vliet episode where he interviewed Penta, also known as Pentagon Jr., for those who watched him in AEW and in TNA across the globe. And listening to Penta speak, man, for me personally, it's amazing to think that Tony Khan and AEW had Penta there, and they really didn't give him that opportunity to utilize his promo skills. Now, granted, Penta may have been in a position where his English was not the best. I mean, it is improving. He talks about how he has that insecurity about his English, and it's still ever evolving. It's still improving. I don't think it's as bad as he would think it is. But listening to that, hearing the passion in his voice, listening to the stories about how he is so passionate, the common theme of the interview with Chris Van Vliet, of course, the podcast being Insight with Chris Van Vliet, the ongoing theme in the video was passion. He was ever so eloquently describing the passion that he has for professional wrestling. In pro wrestling, obviously, it's what happens in between the ropes. It's about what's going on in the ring, who wins and who loses. That's the name of the game. But for me personally, and I think a lot of people will agree, when you get to know the individual, when we're able to connect a relationship, a level of investment in these men and women, it only increases our enjoyment of the match itself. Now, during his time in AEW, Penta was always linked with his brother Phoenix as the Lucha Brothers, one of the greatest tag teams in modern wrestling today. But seeing him now as a single star in the WWE and presented with the opportunity to speak freely, talk with the audience, express that passion that I mentioned earlier, that's what hooks me in. I was already a fan of Penta for the physical and the athleticism aspect of his game. You watch any of his matches, the Young Bucks, his match against Phoenix, his match against Kenny Omega, you watch any of his matches, and it's no secret that he's one of the best to do it right now. He's one of the best masked wrestlers in the game, let alone one of the best wrestlers in the world. But then you add that extra layer of seeing his family in the front crowd, seeing them cry, seeing how much this means to him. And I'll let you in on a secret here, the fact that he's also Mexican and has a Hispanic heritage to his name. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me personally. Listening to that interview, and I highly advise anybody who's interested in Penta or wants to get a better knowledge of Penta or any other wrestler, I could not suggest Insight with Chris Van Vliet any more than I already have. But listening to that interview and hearing at the very end where he gives this eloquent interview with Chris, but at the very end, he even takes the time to apologize to the audience, saying, hey, I'm sorry that my English isn't as good as I would like it to be, essentially. Recognizing that, hey, there might be a language barrier there, but there really isn't, because he's still ever improving in his English. I think that's one thing that maybe AEW didn't see as a priority. They saw that this guy was a great wrestler, so let's have him go in the ring. It's one of those things where you want to heighten their strengths and protect their weaknesses. Over the course of time, though, of course, he's been improving, as I mentioned. But you look at Penta, and I think it could not have been a better time for him to join the WWE. Them going to Netflix, having an international crowd where you can have different stars of different nationalities and representations, and on top of that, in an ever-evolving world of pro wrestling where social media and the internet is running rampant. So now we have it at our fingertips. So people who may not be familiar with Penta, you can go back and see some of his greatest hits. And for those like myself and like some of you as a member of the Main Event Mafia, you've seen his work because of that. So you already have this acknowledgement, you have this familiarity with the work of Penta. And I'm just so happy to see him in the WWE, see the level of success that he's already amassed. I mean, great matches against the likes of like a Chad Gable, and even that against Kaiser. And there's no telling what the rest of 2025 will have in store with Penta. I'm thinking Intercontinental Championship. I really do think that somewhere down the line, we're going to see Penta with some singles gold. I can't wait to see what he has at WrestleMania, because this is a guy that, man, could be a huge star for the WWE. He's already making huge waves in terms of the presentation, in terms of merch sales, which is another thing. AEW never sold masks for Penta. A missed opportunity there, man, because now the WWE has capitalized on it, and you see all the kids in the crowd with the masks on. A huge opportunity for them to promote him as that next big masked wrestler. They've been searching for the next Rey Mysterio. I don't think you're ever going to find that personally, because it is Rey Mysterio. It's a hard, act to follow. But I think with a guy like Penta, you certainly could fill in that void of a masked superstar. Penta has set the world on fire with his latest run in the WWE. I can't wait to see what the rest of 2025 has in store for him. If you are as excited as I am for Penta, please like the video, comment down below some dream matches that you would like to see Penta have in the WWE. With that being said, of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you for joining me for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.